Everyone, and thank you for coming. As we all know, Bitcoin is back, and this is making possible that all of these amazing developers are coming to Bitcoin to create apps that we all love. They are using micropayments to discover new business models that they were not possible before, and many of them are yet to discover. But there's something that we have to face. Right now, being a developer on top of Bitcoin, it really sucks. And this is something that me and my team have to experience at the beginning, because there's no ready-made products that you can just integrate to focus on create what you want to create on top of Bitcoin. So we have right now like two different ways of building products. One is like the buttons in general. They are very cool to like working as a paywalls on browsers, but they are like limiting where, like in the platforms that you can work at what you can do. And in the other side, we also have like the toolkits and protocols, this kind of solution, that they give you more flexibility because you can actually integrate them in your backend, but they have a lot of, they require a lot of domain-specific knowledge, and also at the same time, you have to decide if you want to become custodial or not. You have to, be going through all these regulations, and this is something that developers, they don't want. They just want to focus on creating their apps. So after all this time and being in the ecosystem and trying to create some other apps, we came up with a third idea, and this new idea is Handcash Connect. Handcash Connect is a fast and flexible solution to create everything on top of Bitcoin. And this is the first Bitcoin SDK to develop apps on top of Bitcoin. So in this graph, we have like the two most important features that any developer considers when trying to integrate something to create apps. One is the time savings, of course, and in vertical, we have like the customization of the UI. We think that the buttons are like right in the bottom. They help you to save some time, but you have like a very few constraints because you are limited to the web browsers. And then the toolkits, we think that they give you like more flexibility, but then you have to learn a lot about Bitcoin. You have to be deciding if you want to be custodial, non-custodial, or if you want the users to, to be exporting the private keys and everything. And we think that this is not something that scales, because if for every app that I'm like creating an account, I have to be responsible of my private keys, this thing just doesn't scale. So we think this is the place for Handcash Connect. We want it to be something completely different to these two solutions. We want it to be fast, and we want it to be like completely unlimited, so you can build anything on top of Bitcoin. We are talking here about, in some cases, about a 90% shorter time to market, which we think is a lot. And how the hell is that possible? Well, we packaged these like very basic 6 features that every app needs to build on top of Bitcoin. We are very excited, especially about promise payments, because it's, for the first time, we are creating abstraction on top of payment channels. And one of our things here is we are very committed with any developer in the world to make it really, really easy. So for one of these different modules, what you have is a very simple code snippet that is almost in plain English, so any developer has to go through all the process to learn Bitcoin. Because at the end, what they want is just to focus on building their apps. We see this as playing with Legos, because you have like all these small pieces, like you got encryption, you got data ownership, you have promise payments, and then you can combine everything to build whatever you want. There's no limits in here. Also, all these APIs interact with one amazing infrastructure that is doing everything for you. This is what we call Handcash Cloud. Handcash Cloud is a solution that we are using right now in our products. So you know from day one that this is scalable, this is secure, and also it's almost in a daily basis. We have upgrades. So we think like this is something really cool. You don't have to be like building your own infrastructure and be dealing with all of this. So you can focus on creating your own thing. Also, Handcash Connect is a solution that you integrate in the backend. And this gives you completely freedom to build on top of any platform. And most importantly, to build native apps. So there's no limits. And there's something important here, because for iOS developers, if you are an iOS developer, you probably know that if you are trying to integrate some web views inside apps, it's something that Apple is actually starting to disallow. And there's going to be an end for web views inside iOS apps. So we don't want to set limits anywhere. And also, we are also really excited about virtual reality, because now this is possible. And we think it's really cool to have like the first Oculus app working with Bitcoin. Also, as I mentioned, it's very important to be non-custodial. We don't want developers to be dealing with these issues and the regulations and all these responsibilities. And it's something that we, from the beginning, had in mind to design this solution. Then, of course, this is about exploring new business models that were not possible before. It's not just what we are like very used inside Bitcoin right now, that is like the paper action. Now you can create things like you can charge people for like every minute or something or some service that you're providing. Imagine a Wi-Fi service that you pay like for every minute that you have. So the takeaway here is this is a solution that allows you to focus on build your own thing. No more Bitcoin jargon, no more distractions. Just focus on create the best app that you can do, guys, and we just take care of the rest. We take care of the Bitcoin part. What's the roadmap for this? We are right now in like some internal testing, internal integrations, preparing like the first bunch of apps to deliver, and Handcash Connect will be accessible to everyone, to any developer in the world, in the coming spring. And now, Alex will tell you like more amazing features about Handcash Connect. Come here, mate.
Hello. Not bad for his first time. Another applause, please. You know, we come from Spain, so even if we have some brain farts sometimes because we lose our train of thought, this time we don't have notes like we cheated in the other conference, but we are just going along, improvising. So our motto in Handcash has always been making Bitcoin for the rest of us. And with Handcash Connect, right now, we are doing the same thing that we've made with the Handcash wallet, making accessible for users. We are trying to make Bitcoin easy and accessible for developers worldwide, so they can create new kind of apps without having to learn for Bitcoin from start. What we want is ultimately to build that kind of solution and reach that developer that comes to us and says, hey, I just want to build this game or whatever. I just want to add some micropayments, identity, whatever. What can I do? And our reply is Handcash Connect. So far, we are very happy about the early feedback that we're getting from developers about Handcash Connect. And I wanted to share a couple of quotes with you. So this one is from Degen. It must be in the somehow. Hey, Degen. He's a great developer. I love him. He's the developer in charge of Baymail, which is a great email client app that solves many issues that you cannot solve otherwise if you don't have a payment system integrated with emails. So he said, I would have to wrap together at least 4 open source libraries, and in fact wait a few months before even starting to build the functions available here, if not for Connect. That would probably slow me down for a full quarter. And I think that's a pretty big deal. And then we have Brad Jasper. You might know him also as Symphonaut. He's in charge. He should be over here too. Anyway, He's building bit.sv, which is a great a great platform for content creators. And he said, Handcash Connect could save developers 6 to 12 months. Seriously. More importantly, it lets developers focus on what they do best, creating great app experiences. And what we are very proud of is that people are getting what we are trying to do here with Handcash Connect, and it was very important for us. But let's talk about distribution. I think this is something that's been forgotten this is a topic that's been forgotten for Bitcoin app developers for a while. So you spend a few weeks or a few months building this amazing new app, but how do you reach, what you want is to reach as many Bitcoin users as possible. So how can we do it? Well, turns out that we have a product that I'm sure most of you already know, which is the Handcash wallet. For many, Handcash has become the entry point to Bitcoin, or at least their first experience with this technology. And what better way to distribute your apps than putting your app in front of all of our Handcash enthusiastic user base? What we want you is that you will be able to reach all of Handcash users the moment you launch your app. And for that, we are presenting today the Handcash App Gallery, which will be a main section inside of Handcash, and will allow you to discover all kinds of apps and services and experiences that you can connect with your wallet. So you can just basically use your funds and identity and everything you do with Handcash and your Handcash friends. You will have a very integrated experience inside this coherent ecosystem. And we think this is great for developers because it will be very easy for you to showcase your app inside. Thank you. We thought this was a missing piece. We've been working a while for this because we wanted to make sure that we didn't have any issue while the approving process with the App Store especially, but we are okay. So this is how it's going to work. So you find one of these apps and you say, oh, let's check what this Twitch thing is. And you have a description of what the app does, some screenshots, you can contact the developer, whatever. It's just like one of the app stores that you already know. And if you want to connect with it, you just tap the connect button, then you approve you give the wallet, the other service permission to access your wallet funds and identity, and boom, you're in. You're already there. You don't have to do anything else. There's no QR codes to scan. There's no more issues to this onboarding process. And another cool thing is that you will be in full control of your experience and about your money and personal information at any time. So for any service, you will be able to see how much money you're making, how much money you're spending, net ratio of how in total how are you in your balance, and you can choose to disconnect your account at any time. That way, you are in full control of your experience. This is another quote that I wanted to share about distribution in general. And Brad, again, said, Handcash has one of the most engaged user bases in all of Bitcoin. Being able to build on their platform and reach their customers gives developers a great distribution system similar to the App Store. And we are very proud of that, and I think it was one of these missing pieces. And these are just some of the apps that will be available in the App Store in the early stages. There are many more to come, but they didn't want me to announce publicly, because also there are a few ones that still doesn't exist, are in the works, and have been built, are being built fully using Handcash Connect instead of just another integration, and we are very, very thrilled about that too. And this is something that I wanted to remark. In Handcash, we take your security very seriously. Sometimes at obsessive levels, like coming up with things like output bills. I don't know if you read about it, but it's a pretty cool thing for protecting your privacy online. We want to make sure that you know that every developer behind every app that we have in the App Store or in the App Gallery, and every user that you will be connecting to your app, all of them are verified. They have verified identities. We think it's very important that we take this seriously and we don't allow anonymous people to just start creating apps and making fake accounts and start all over again with all the problems that we had with the internet. And with Bitcoin, we can have this. So let me talk about, I passed 2 minutes or something that, fuck it, anyway. I need to say this. So fast, for the pricing plans of Connect, you can launch your app and start building it or whatever for free, and you up to 1,000 users, 10,000 API calls per month. If you're gaining some traction, for just $79 per month, you can have up to 5,000 connected users and 50,000 API calls. And if you're really killing it, and you get to up to 20,000 connected users and 200,000 API calls per month, it's just $2.99 per month. And we think it's a great deal, considering that you don't have, right now you don't have, with Connect, you don't have to hire Bitcoin developers as such. You can hire any kind of developer. So that also makes it easier for you to hire the best app developers and focus on your experience instead of focusing on an infrastructure. And we want to announce that if you join Handcash Connect this year, you will have a 50% discount on the first 2 years. I think that's a pretty cool deal. We are going to be very aggressive with this. We just want you to start building things and don't worry about the money. And please, to get started, go to connect.handcash.io and join the program. And we want to thank our partners, our Entain and Bundled Capital, 2Hub Ventures, and CoinGeek, because they have helped us taking this small project that people really love from a small project to a serious company. And hey, Jimmy, we are starting to monetize, yeah. Okay, so, okay. So thank you all and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Hi, I'm Hannah Jackson here for CoinGeek.com, and I'm here with the boys here from Handcash, Rafa and Alex. So Rafa, I'm going to start with you. Today you have just launched a new product, so tell me all about that.
So today we announced Handcash Connect. Handcash Connect is an SDK for app developers to build Bitcoin apps on top of it. It's very easy to integrate and allows any kind of new business model. So we think helping developers to focus just on creating apps and forget about like all these Bitcoin complexities and just bring like the best of Bitcoin is a good proposition, we think. We are trying to abstract every like complexity of Bitcoin, like instant payments or payment channels or encryption or all these kind of cool things, in something that you can integrate like in your backends, like in one part of the technology, and it's just as simple as that.
Fantastic. Now, Alex, let's talk a little bit more about the app ecosystem. Tell me how you guys fit in with that.
Yeah, so we've seen with Bitcoin that it's enabling for new business models, like Rafa just said, and this has created a lot of new apps that are Bitcoin native and that they do things like you get paid for open up the emails or makes referrals much easier for when you open a link or something. So we are enabling with Handcash Connect all these kind of cool new apps, so we make it more accessible for new developers outside of Bitcoin to start creating Bitcoin apps.
Looking forward into the future, what can we expect from you guys in the next few years? Any little teasers you can give us?
Sure. People have known Handcash as just a wallet, a Bitcoin wallet. So right now we are going to transition into becoming an app ecosystem, and we think it's going to be a very thrilling and exciting and fun app ecosystem where people are going to make money and create better content. And I think it's going to take the best out of Bitcoin and create great new experiences for everybody.
So watch this space. Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys, and we will see you at the next one.
Thank you.